Hello?
Hello, hello. How are you, Paul?
I'm good. How are you doing? Let me just turn this TV off here.
No
I'm
problem.
I'm good.
Hey, so just FYI,
I'm all yours.
Okay. Thank you. Well, my name is Jenny. I'm with Uptown Latino.net, and I have a couple questions for you. We're really excited about having you in Dallas tomorrow.
I'm excited to be there.
Paul. Yeah, I know. So, Paul, if you could tell me a little bit about the tour, what is the best and the worst part about traveling with other comedians? Are you guys big pranksters?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you absolutely have to get along. I mean, you get to know more about these guys than you want to. You become their non-sexual spouse. You know? In other words, you get all the arguments and everything else without the good parts. And but it's fun. You know, these guys. I've known these guys for years. I've seen them grow, and they're stars in their own right. And I'm just riding their coattails. You know, they're good. This is the best tour I've been in. It's really nicely balanced. We all talk about different things, and we don't step on each other's topics. And I'm having a lot of fun with it.
That's great. And I want to ask you, because I know you wanted to become a lawyer back in the day. Now you're a comedian and an actor and a producer and a director. So which one is your favorite hat to wear?
Father.
Father. Really? I love
Father's
that.
The best one. I know it wasn't on the list, but I can't think of anything else that I've done that has brought me more satisfaction. You know, I mean, I think if you raise your kids right, or if you have enough time to spend with them, it's a worthwhile investment. It might not seem so in the beginning. You know, in the beginning, it's kind of, you don't know what they're going to be, but to watch them grow up and to surpass you in every way is both disheartening, but it's the goal, isn't it?
I love that. I really do. I know your son is a famous skateboarder. How do you feel knowing that he can get, very severely injured every time he goes and skates?
Well, everything has its dangers, I guess, and you can't live like that. And I didn't want to put my fears on them, both my kids. I simply wanted them to be the best they could. I know it sounds hokey and corny, but I don't know of any other way. I think you're pretty much raised in the same way your parents raised you. You really are strict with them in the beginning, and you teach them morals and things that you were passed on to. And once they get to be adults, then then it's their fault if they stray. But I've been so fortunate. Both my kids are really going to make a difference. In their lives. And I never put any kind of pressures on them at all. I wanted them to be children. I kept them away from the spotlight when I had it, and they handled it very well. One of them is very athletic, and the other one wants to be a comedian. So hold on, world.
So having the son that wants to be a comedian, what advice do you usually give to him and other people that would love to be a stand-up comedian? I mean, it's a really hard profession. What is your advice?
Find your own voice, stick out from the crowd, whatever it be. When I came up, I was the Mexican guy, right? Then after that, you gotta find out something else to do. But it's the same advice I would give anybody. Find something that makes you unique. Now, being a Mexican comic isn't unique, but when I was coming up, it was. And then but there are a lot of things to be unique. There could be a catchphrase. You can be fluffy like Gabe is, or you can be the wild guy like Sparza is. You have to. People, especially now with so many channels, people are bombarded by people who see themselves as funny. I think you have to find something about you that makes people curious, makes them have something to say. Whether it be flippant or whether it be deep. Have people want to tune in to see what are you thinking about, and that's the most difficult. That's really the holy grail of comedy, if you can, because there's a lot of comedians, but most of them are very forgettable. So make sure you're not one of those. That's the best advice.
I love that, and that actually brings me to another question that I was going to ask you as a comedian. Everyone wants to claim that they're very, socially correct, and they don't want to offend other people. But as a comedian nowadays, how do you feel when people take your things offensive? One of the ironies of comedy is when you're making fun of someone or of something. So how do you feel nowadays when all these people claiming to be, comedians are actually offending people, or people not even taking it, funny anymore?
The very nature of comedy is offensive. That's what makes us who we are. Your ideas are not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but there are ways to offend, and there are ways to enhance or to teach. If you're a political comedian, you're going to have that. One side's not going to like you. You're going to lose the other side. But I try to find material that suits me, like my clothing. I mean, when I was a youngster, I would wear the youngster colors. When you're an older man, you wear a suit. So your material should be the same. You should know what you're talking about. It's like when I watch a child singing a torch song, a song about love lost. There's no credibility. You're 9, you're 10, you're 12. You don't know about love. So the same way, I try to tell comedians that it's okay to offend somebody if they have offense coming to them. If you're a public person and you get arrested, you're fair game, as I'm saying. Where it's not fine to offend someone is with someone that doesn't merit it. But then the market will sort itself out. If you are, a perfect example is not Burroughs. Nobody was doing a Bill Cosby material, but Burroughs had the courage to take the side of the women, and he was the first one. Because of him, a lot of these women were able to come out and say something they were holding. I think he did a public service. If you're a Cosby fan, you might not think so, but I think you get as good as you get. I mean, I wouldn't have chosen that route, but then again, everybody pays for their sins, and so be careful that make sure your sins are small ones, like mine.
Of course. Now, I want to talk a little bit about you playing the voice for Divino in the new cartoon coming out, El Americano. You are along an amazing cast, other funny men like Chech Marin and Gabriel Iglesias. Can you tell us a little bit more about the movie and your character?
Well, I think the people are really going to like it. I'm happy because it has a strong Latino cast, something that is missing in the rest of show business. I'm still frustrated that we are, in numbers at least, larger than any other ethnic minority, including African Americans, and yet in the media we're practically disappeared. The American media, we're less than 1%. When you realize that there are more Asian sitcoms and more Asian representation, and they maybe have 2% of the population, and we are well over 14, 15. It doesn't seem like it's fair, and I don't think it is. But having said that, I say that you can curse the darkness or you can light a candle, and I think this cartoon is lighting the candle in a very funny one too, because the cast don't have the voices that you automatically associate with comedy. You had Edward James Olmos, who's not known for his comedy, although personally he is funny. I think this is also something that our children will be able to identify with. My kids, my grandchildren, it's okay for them to watch, The Lion King. It tells you about, it has an African American core running through it. But there's nothing for him, other than Dora the Explorer. I'm happy to do this cartoon to my granddaughter. Now I'm going to be a celebrity and not just some old guy that kisses her when she doesn't want me to.
That's very adorable. I love how you love your family. That's something, as a Latina Mexican too, I'm very close to my family, so I love to see, my fellow Latinos be as close as their family as you are as well. Now, go ahead.
Well, I think, that's really the last thing that we Latinos have. Well, when we didn't have money, when we didn't have health, when we didn't have anything else, we always had a grandmother, our mother, who knew these medicines. Family to us, we haven't lost that yet. We're losing it through the new generation. I think their importance is losing. We're living in a society where we text somebody instead of hugging them. We don't have to take the time to write a handwritten letter. We just send an abbreviated message with words you can't even understand. We're becoming more distant. The telephone was supposed to make us closer, and I think it's made us more apart. But having said that, still the thing we look forward to. And every Latino Mexican family I know, what we look forward to is not the presents and Christmas, and it's not the turkey. Yeah, the food is important, but for us is the fact that we have a date with each other. We're gonna see each other. We're gonna, among the people you love the most. That's what Christmas really is about. It's about seeing the tío that you haven't seen in a long time, catching up with them. And I think family for us, the Rodriguez's, maybe that's why we're so numerous. Maybe that's why we had to have our own phone book.
I know. Yeah, totally. I agree. Well, I'm so excited to have you, Paul. Just one last thing. If you can give a shout-out to UptownLatino.net. Our slogan is the ultimate source for Latinos in DFW. And an invite to the show tomorrow, of course.
Hi, this is Paul Rodriguez telling you that UptownLatino.net, we're on the web, baby. The ultimate source for Latino show business in general. If it makes you laugh, cry, or want to say goodbye, it's us. Hey, this is Paul Rodriguez, and I'm bringing you the three locals that you're going to want to see. Alex and, who was that other guy? Manny Maldonado, el hijo más malcriado, and Joey Medina. Hi, this is Paul Rodriguez. So Joey Medina, Manny Maldonado, el hijo más malcriado. We're coming, the Latin Kings. Don't miss it, please. I got to make my child support famous, I swear.
I love it. Paul, it was great having you on the phone, and thank you for giving us this interview.
Thank you so much for your help.
Thank you. May God keep blessing you. Much success, and hopefully, I'll be there tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to seeing you up and live.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hold on to your sombrero. We're coming.
All righty.
Adios.